Welcome to AP Breakdown. We're your hosts, Rahi Patel
and Tahasar Batula.
Today we're going to be talking about AP Econ with the AP Econ teacher, Mr. Irla.
Thank you so much, Mr. Irla, for being on our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
The first question we have is, what is AP Econ?
Well, AP Econ is a college-level economics course. It focuses on the general principles of economics. It is 2 classes in one. The first semester covers microeconomics. The second semester covers macroeconomics. So at the end of the year, students have an opportunity to take 2 AP exams and earn twice the college credit.
And the next question is, what is your favorite part about teaching this AP course?
I have to say that economics is something that I'm interested in and I enjoy. When I got hired here, this is what was offered to me, like, you're going to teach this class, and it worked out well because I really probably, out of all the classes available, this is the one I want to teach. But it's not really one topic or subject. It's when we hit the end of the year and we start reviewing for the AP exams, and the students go from back in September, October, when they were struggling to learn newer concepts and everything felt like it was moving so fast, to once we're reviewing and they've learned everything, you can see how far they've come. They understand simple concepts, advanced concepts. They're able to tie everything together. And they don't always even realize this, but I can ask them a question and they just go on and they're connecting so many different things that show their growth through the entire year here.
How can the stuff you learn in this class apply to everyday life?
I suppose you could make the argument that a lot of classes do have connections to our life, but economics is all around us. Really what it comes down to is economics is a field of decision making. And we make decisions every day that basically boil down to cost and benefit analysis. Now in economics, we take a more scientific model-based approach. And yeah, we're talking maybe about prices, quantities, markets, trade. But you can see it outside of simple, like, more direct things. Eventually, you're going to want to buy a house or sell a house or something like that, and you'll be concerned about prices, factor markets, or as most people would say, jobs, things like that. But anything you do really comes down to, is this a good decision or not? How do I weigh the costs? How do I weigh the benefits? I only have so much time, only have so much money available, and that is the field of economics.
So what is the structure of the AP Economics exam? Can you talk about, like, microeconomics and how macroeconomics, the structure is different from each other?
So in terms of the courses, they have the same foundation, which is fortunate for us because we want to have more time at the end in April and May to review for 2 exams. So we don't have to do the foundations twice. We cover foundations in September. Microeconomics is going to be focused on, well, what micro implies, a much more narrow view. Firms and households and how they interact, the market for an iPad, the market for an iPhone, hiring workers to work at a business, and decisions like that. Macro is the field that maybe people think of more when they think of economics. It's your bigger, wider reaching events. Inflation being a big one right now, unemployment rates, government policy, fiscal and monetary policy, international trade, flow of capital assets, a lot of the things that really relate to business, finance, things that students are interested in pursuing.
And how can students prepare for these AP exams?
The simple answer is to be in class and do the things that are asked. Having taught this class now for 14 years, I think the class is really well structured to give the students what they need in terms of building our understanding bit by bit every single night. There's no off period, there's no free days. Everything we do is with the intention of learning and developing understanding. There are nightly assignments, but again, those assignments are meant to help the students develop the skill, develop the understanding, practice it, and then the next day in class, we expand on it, and it just becomes a cycle of doing that. Students do the assignments, they use the utilized resources, and by the end of the course, they have an understanding, they know where they're strong, they've self-identified where they're weak, and then we're able to spend class time targeting those areas that need improvement.
So this question is more general for like every single AP class, but what does a GPA boost in an AP class look like?
So I think a lot of students fixate on numbers and grades, which is understandable, especially in the competitive college admissions environment. But obviously, the AP classes count as a 5.0 on A's. I know that. I don't know exactly how it scales down after that, but anything gives a higher GPA score than a regular class. To me, the real value is how it looks in the transcript, that you have challenged yourself, that you've done something above and beyond, and that you're learning at a college level, but while still getting the structured support of daily high school instruction with someone who's a trained teacher, not someone who works in the field first and then also teaches students. So learning critical thinking, learning problem solving, learning time management, learning how to be resilient, in addition to that grade boost, is something that prepares students for the next level, that can have students kind of feel better about themselves, about their capabilities, gain confidence, and that shows up when they apply to colleges. It's more than just the letter and the number. It's what they are capable of doing. I believe that a letter grade and the corresponding GPA number from Troy Athens and Troy High School means something, especially here in the state of Michigan, where the universities know who we are. It's not just a 5.0 or a 4.0. There's an expectation for what students are doing, what level they're performing, and what that shows about their readiness for the college level, university level, the military academies, or whatever field it is they pursue. Coming through the Troy School District and taking our AP classes here is supposed to mean something and signal something about their readiness, their ability, their discipline, and signifies, hey, this student is better suited to be successful than maybe students coming from other locations. They've been through it, they have developed as a learner, and they are ready to function at the next level.
So what majors in college would taking AP Econ be good for?
I can go back to the idea that it's critical thinking, it's decision making. So an argument could be made, taking a college class in high school prepares a student for everything. Specifically, what it would directly tie to: econ, of course, which is a major. Business, finance, those are similar fields, sometimes separate. Risk management, supply chain management, anything that deals with analysis, forecasting, money and costs and expenses as students think about. But the general principles, whether it be what we're learning as content or what we're developing in the learners, are going to be useful for all fields. And everybody probably will be better off just by having an understanding of these concepts.
As someone who's like interested in some of these majors, I'm wondering like what the workload of this class is like.
So the workload, it's going to differ on the individual level. I'm a believer in my students in AP Econ. I want time and energy going towards learning the content and developing the skills. I don't want time and energy and stress and anxiety to be spent on what do I do, when do I have to do it. So my class is very routine oriented, very structured. The pacing, while fast, is consistent, so that I think within a few weeks, students understand what is expected of them. They naturally internalize what it is they need to do to be successful. There's going to be homework or expectations of work every night. I try to keep it to a minimum where if the students are being productive, if they are focused, it shouldn't take more than 20 minutes on average. There will be an assignment. The assignments provide opportunities to look back at mistakes, identify mistakes, and revisit them. I encourage students, especially when they're not fully confident, when they're struggling, to take a more methodical, slower approach, that it could take more time in the short run, but I believe that it helps them sort of restructure their mental process for how they are learning and how they are studying, so that as we go through the year, they basically train their brain in how is it they learn economics. So from anywhere from 10 minutes a night on the low end for some students to maybe closer to 45 for students who are really trying to get prepared for something. But through the year, I think we kind of settle into about a 20-minute a night range on most nights.
So how can students prepare for this class before they take it?
I think students need to accept that having those expectations and having the nightly workload, it's not overbearing, it's not over demanding. Everything is designed with the student performance in mind. Many students, that when they sign up for the class, they want to take the class, they want to be here. The biggest question I probably get is, well, how much homework is there? And is homework graded? That's not really the mindset we're going for. The mindset we're going for is, do you want to be here? Do you want to learn the material? And understanding that homework and classwork is just a step in that process. Students who are aware of this, who are thoughtful and reflectful, I mean, it's always nice to get notes and letters from students saying, oh, thank you for the year. But one thing that's really stood out is, coming from the AP Econ students, is they often write about how the class helped them, not just the material, but the structure, the assignments that they were asked to do, how I do things in class, how I pace out my testing, that they saw the method behind it and that they felt it really engaged them as a learner and it helped them to develop and be better prepared, not only for this content, but that it provided them with strategies that they want to use in later classes. And that when all is said and done, the time they put in now probably saves them time in the future because they've developed these abilities.
That's so cool. Like, the things you learn in AP Econ can be applied to like everyday life. So what advice would you give to students taking AP Econ?
The best thing is ask questions. If you have a question, ask. We talk about how people are motivated by self-interest. So that is an economic principle at play right there. If you need something clarified, just ask. Other students probably have the same, you hear this in all of your classes. If you have a question, someone else probably has it as well. But it's a good opportunity for the teacher to get a sense of, what are we getting? What are we not getting? What do we need to go back on? And from my experience, I can tell most students, they'll go home, they'll try to figure things out on their own. But in 2 to 3 minutes of talking to the teacher, and this applies to any class, the teacher can identify where the misunderstanding is and offer instructions for how to fix it. We don't like to just give answers, but we can maybe correct the thinking that the student is engaging in and help them arrive at the correct process, arrive at the correct answer in a much shorter length of time than the student could do it at home. And then that's something that we can incorporate and say, okay, if one student has this question, let me go looking for that in others and see, is this something I need to address?
Thank you so much, Mr. Irla, for being on our podcast.
We hope you got more insight about AP Econ and plan on taking it.
Thank you so much for watching this episode, and don't forget to follow our Instagram at AP Breakdown TSD.
Have a great day.
Bye!